Let's start off inside the box with Kannagi. I guess nothing spectacular on the inside. There's only 2 DVDs released for this fairly short series, but overall it was pretty entertaining. I don't think there was much to the story. It kind of like forgot about the story as it went on, but the story was also never really presented as a very as the strongest reason to watch it. This anime character interaction was pretty much key, and there's a lot of humor elements and refreshing harem elements to it. Overall, I thought it was very entertaining. I can't really talk too much more about it since a lot of the jokes I would remember from it are pretty in-jokes and sound stupid otherwise. Next up, Honey and Clover, which I had mixed opinions about. The opening for the first season was really great. Second season I didn't care so much about. But I think my problem with Honey and Clover is that I guess with a dramatic relationship anime such as this, there's this easy tendency to make people do stupid, disrespectful things. This one wasn't too bad. It just kind of made it sit at this kind of place where I was enjoying myself, but only barely, I guess. I'm probably not the target audience for this sort of thing anyways. So I think that's to be expected. Here's a Gungrave. This is a thin DVD box set that has this weird Velcro-like seal to it and a bunch of individuals in it. This was actually a really great anime. Basically, well, at least I really enjoyed it a lot. It basically had a very strong storytelling element in the first half. That the second half was basically transition to something that you'd more expect to see in a strange anime, I guess. Whereas the first half was just really in-depth character development, I guess, story. I'm not sure how to explain it. But the thing that was really neat, I mean, that part was the part that was really great about it and how it, needed to be resolved in the second half. In the second half, all of that slowed down when it reached its more mythical elements. But the thing that was very noteworthy in terms of what this did is, this isn't the reason you'd watch it. It's just the noteworthy thing. The first half kind of transitions into a second half of something like how would a monster, zombie, or vampire, whatever universe form. A lot of anime just kind of pretend those mystical elements are there, and there's not a whole lot of backstory to it other than the backstory that people mention in the show. Think of something like Trinity Blood, where they explain where the vampires came from, but it's just an explanation because as far as everybody's concerned, the world's populated by vampires. This kind of builds that up. Next up, Venus vs. Virus. Very interesting looking anime, but I guess it was stopped early. Maybe they were hoping to go more than one season because there's only the one 13-episode season, and because of that, it's pretty weak. It doesn't really have anything conclusion-y about it, I guess. Next up comes a big classic. Astroboy. I think one of the first anime to be brought here to the US. I'm not 100% certain on that. This is the original 1960s version of the show. And of course, this one has spun off multiple series, movies, whatnot. We even had that recent CGI movie. And if you're wondering whether or not that's in my collection, the answer is simply, it's not. I'm kind of curious enough to watch it, but at the same time, there's not a lot of pressure. It's not really an anime movie, but it's a movie based on an anime movie. It's made for an American audience. Oh wait, we want to see the Ultimate Collection 2. The Ultimate Collector's Edition set 2. Anyways, it doesn't mean I don't want to watch it. It just means that, again, not a whole lot of priority. So as for my attempt to watch this very first one, I didn't get past episode 2. It had some very 1960s humor to it. Stuff that I kind of don't feel comfortable watching nowadays, I guess. Yeah, so the second episode, I'll just leave it at that. And the next thing we'll go on to is the 1980s version of Astroboy. This one's... oh, there's actually pictures on the back. But as you can see, they are simply colored. Looks a lot like Kim of the White Lion. I wonder why. Well, it comes with this booklet. Oh well. If you don't know, the reason I mentioned it looked like it was it looked a lot like Kim of the White Lion is because it's made by the same people who did it. Astroboy is in general. I can't remember names, which is a bit unfortunate. And last but not least, we have the 2000s version of Astroboy. I did start watching this, and it wasn't too bad. I just didn't have a lot of motivation to continue for some reason. Like, there's always something else more interesting, and since I wasn't keeping track of the episodes I was watching, I'm not quite sure exactly what episode I was on. All I know is it's kind of the same idea, but, you know, with more modern styles of animation, so there was more fluid something monster stuff. Okay, I don't know. I am not able to remember those things called English language words. So, great teacher Onizuka. I have mixed opinions about this one. Mostly, it's not that it's bad. It's just that there's basically two aspects to the series, and that's Onizuka acting like a perverted idiot that you can't really care about, or at least I can't. I think a lot of people may actually find those parts real funny. It's just one form of humor that I don't really understand too well. But then he'll turn around and he'll do something really fucking awesome. That's also not out of character, I guess. Yeah, overall, I actually haven't seen all of it, so I can't really have a complete opinion on it, other than to say that I did enjoy watching it, because again, watching a character pull an awesome out of thin air is, well, awesome. I mean, that's pretty much the definition of the word. All-purpose cultural catgirl Nuku Nuku. This is the original OVA, I guess. I'll be honest though, I don't remember much of what happened in these. For some series, that just seems to happen for some reason. I don't know what it is. This is the TV series version. Hopefully I'm not trying to mark anything with that. I think the TV series version was the one that came with this manga, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, except that it has stuff in it, including manga stuff. And pictures, postcard things. I've never really thumbed through that too much. There's just some extras I've never have. And then this is the second TV series, Nuku Nuku Dash. I guess I'm vaguely remembering a little bit of the original Nuku Nuku. Unfortunately, it doesn't help me remember this. See, that's the main problem with watching a whole bunch of stuff, is sometimes you just start forgetting things. Oh well. My-HiME was a series that I downloaded as it aired. And I have pretty fond memories of it. looking back on it, it's not as spectacular. It's one of those anime where you watch it, you get into the moment, and maybe you don't care as much about the ending. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't how I would have preferred it to end. But I remember enjoying this pretty much through the entire series, wondering what was going to happen next and loving all of the twists and turns as they happened. This box set, of course, was nice. So I downloaded this as it was airing. That was back when I was still downloading. And My-Otome was probably starting to get into the end of that. And coincidentally, it's also... I didn't like Otome as much as My-Hime. Amusingly enough, one of the things I didn't like so much was just how much non-action school time there was. But I think that was actually a criticism people had leveled at My-Hime, wanting more school life in the school life anime. So, it's not too bad. The real problem with My-Otome is that a whole lot of the... There's too many things about this anime that just feel like, oh yeah, remember that scene from My-Hime? You know, basically just depending on some of the same exact surprises, shocks, mysteries, whatnot being solved, which it doesn't really ruin it. It just kind of lessens the impact significantly. And there's probably something else wrong with it, but I can't place my finger on it. Because looking at My-Otome's Way, I remembered that this I actually really liked. I thought it was decent. Like, it covered the problems. Now, of course, I've pulled this out many times because this is just a regular individual DVD here. Stored in the bottom here. But on the other end, we have some pencil boards and a t-shirt. It's an amazing little thing, because like if I push on that end, that automatically gets pulled in. Although it does want a helping hand. I still haven't watched this. I just got it last week, of course. It's some sort of prequel to My-Otome, I think. And for those of you who don't know, My-Hime and My-Otome are only related to each other insofar as, or they're only blatantly related to each other insofar as they share some characters who have somewhat similar roles in them. So, but they're not the same exact characters as far as I can tell, and they're not descendants. So, this appears to be pretty standalone. My-Otome from My-Hime. Last but not least, I was asked to show Initial D. So we begin, of course, with this original release, which is a bunch of individuals. I can speed up here once I start being able to hold the rest of these with one hand. This is a Tokyo Pop release, so I don't think they're around releasing DVDs anymore, which is too bad because I have such fondness of Brigadoon. Anyways, I have not watched Initial D yet. I still have not watched it. And now I've got a problem. If I want to watch Stage 1, I have to decide which dub I'm going to watch. Because we have these, the original. And these 14 volumes, they cover the content of Initial D Stages 1 and 2. This is mostly important for those of you who are collecting Initial D First Stages Part 1 and 2 and the upcoming Second Stage. These are Funimation re-releases, and people suggested that I get these because they have a new dub, I think. I have not personally verified this, because there's always work for me to do. I don't even know what these cars are. Maybe I would if I actually watched it. Oh well. I guess one reason to go with the Funimation releases, if you needed somebody to have a preference, that's third stage and fourth stage were released recently. And I guess overall, I guess I'm not sure if fourth stage was ever previously released. I kind of assumed it wasn't, but I realize now I really should have checked that before recording this video and talking to y'all about it. Oh well. And then finally, fourth stage part 2. There we go. This week's Inside the Box.